Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto bread recipe for you. As you all know, I'm always trying to try new ways to make bread that is as close to the traditional flavor and texture as I can get. And although I love my coconut flour bread, I know coconut flour breads are always fairly dense. And I've showed you how to make seed bread a couple videos ago, and that has definitely been my top favorite bread because it does not have that denseness from the coconut flour. It's got excellent taste, excellent texture. And today we are going to try another bread that only requires 2 ingredients and hopefully will have that excellent texture and taste that we are all missing on a low carb diet. So if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. Also, I am on cal.com. I will put a link in the description. You can click the link in the description and you can tip me if you would like, and that is another way to help support the channel. So, while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease 3 6-inch hot dog or sub sandwich molds and 4 4-inch diameter hamburger bun molds. Place 226 grams or around 1 cup of cottage cheese into a large blender. If you want to, you can add about 9 grams or 1 tablespoon of instant dry yeast. You don't have to add this. I just like to add this because I like a little bit of a yeast flavor in my bread. It doesn't do anything for rising or anything in this particular recipe. So if you don't want to put it in, you don't have to. Also, if you want your bread to have a different flavor, you can add some dry seasonings or dry spices. That's all up to you. I'm just leaving mine plain. Blend the cottage cheese for about 30 to 45 seconds or until it is completely smooth. Then set it aside. Place a whisk attachment on your standing mixer. If you don't have a standing mixer, you can use a hand mixer. That's just fine. Place 112 grams or around 1 cup of egg white protein powder into your mixer bowl. Add 240 milliliters or around 1 cup of room temperature water. Beat the water and the egg white powder together on medium-high speed for about 5 to 8 minutes or until stiff peak forms. Make sure your peaks are stiff. The way you know that your peaks are stiff is when you lift your whisk attachment out of your bowl. The peaks that are in your bowl and at the end of your whisk attachment should be standing straight up. They should not be drooping over at all. They should be standing straight up. Also, when you move your bowl around and you turn your bowl upside down, the egg white should not be moving. You should be able to turn your bowl upside down and nothing comes out. Use a spatula and gently fold the blended cottage cheese into the egg white mixture until everything is fully combined. Make sure you do this carefully. You don't want to flatten your egg whites. Divide the mixture evenly throughout your prepared molds. So depending on what you're wanting to use these for, that would depend on the type of molds that you're using. I'm wanting to make some of mine into sub sandwich molds, and then I'm wanting to make the others into hamburger bun molds. But if you want to make them all sub molds or hot dog molds, you can make them all the same shape, or if you want to make them all hamburger bun or sandwich bun molds, that's all up to you, whatever you're wanting to use this bread for. Make sure that you use a spatula and spread the mixture evenly throughout the molds. You want to keep this nice and smooth. You don't want any bubbles, and make sure that you keep the top as smooth as possible. Place the molds onto the large baking sheets. Bake at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until your bread is golden. Once the bread is baked, remove it from the oven and allow the bread to cool in the molds for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the bread is firm. After 15 to 20 minutes and your bread is firmed up, remove the bread from the molds and transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool completely before you slice them. Make sure they are cooled completely before you slice them into top and bottom portions. Once the bread's cooled and you're ready to actually use it, Then if you're wanting to use these for hamburger buns or sub sandwich buns, then turn the buns onto their side and use a sharp knife to cut them in half to form a top and a bottom bun. If you're wanting to use these for hot dog buns, then you would do the same thing, turn the bread on its side and cut it in half, but you wouldn't cut all the way through. You would leave one edge of the bread attached. All right, we are back with my lovely little bread here. Cut it in half, so hopefully you can see a little bit of that texture in there. Has a really nice texture on the inside, really nice and soft and smushable, crusty outside. Now I made mine yesterday because I wanted to see if it would store well overnight, and it did store well overnight. But when you first take it out of the oven, and if I was to use it the first day, the top of it is actually really crusty when you first take it out, which is a nice crusty, not a bad crusty. It's crusty, but when you store it in, I stored it in a Ziploc bag overnight, it gets really soft on the outside, not like nasty soft, but it doesn't have that like real super crusty, airy feel that it had when it first came out. So the texture has softened a little bit, but again, it's not a bad soft. It is still really, really good soft, has a nice, nice texture. I really like the texture. It's super light. I mean, it feels almost like styrofoam light. Like I can just toss this like a frisbee. It's like super, super light, which I actually really like. Feels very, very moist even after being stored overnight. So looks good, smells good. Those are always good qualities. But as I always say, taste is what really matters, right? Right. So let's see how this bad boy tastes. That's good. It still has a little bit of that crusty crunch on the outside there, but still really soft. It's made with egg white, so you don't have the yolk. The yolk is what makes your egg breads taste eggy. This is just made with the egg whites and a little bit of the cottage cheese, so it has a really nice neutral flavor. It's hard to describe what it actually tastes like because it really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor in itself. But I think the texture and the neutral flavor that it has will make an excellent sandwich bread. You can also, if you wanted to, before you bake this, you can always add some herbs or some different seasonings to give the bread a little bit more flavor. That's all up to you. But it does have a really good taste and a really good texture. Like I said, it's nice and soft, foldable, pliable. Thumbs up for me. I think it's very tasty, very good. So, yes. You can use these immediately if you do have any leftovers. You can store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 3 days, or in an airtight container in your freezer for up to 1 month. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.